Yo guys, what is up? Max for Diablo 4 video, and today we were talking about the rarest items in Diablo 4. Now, you may have heard of the Shako helmet, which I believe 2 players in the world have confirmed to have gotten. You may have heard of the Grandfather's Sword. However, there are a bunch of uniques that have started to turn up that players are now acquiring that I had never heard of, never seen before. These are unbelievably rare, less than a 1% chance to drop. And today I want to talk to you guys about how these players are getting these items and what they actually do. Obviously, there's going to be some gear spoilers for these like super rare items. However, most of us are probably never going to see them, at least for not a few seasons of playing Diablo 4. So I hope you guys enjoy the video. Let's get right into it. So all these items are confirmed by the lead level designer of Diablo 4 to be dropping in the game, and the only requirement to get these items is that you're killing enemies that are level 85 or higher. They need to be 85 or higher enemies. So if you're doing it in nightmare dungeons, you can set the level to 85 or higher, or if you're just out in the world and you're 85 or higher, you do have a chance to get these. Now, they drop from any normal activity, doesn't need to be anything specific. And when you get a unique, you have a chance of that unique drop chance to get one of these ultra rare uniques. And obviously, with only a few players in the world having them, the chance is absolutely minuscule. So our first item to show you off today is the Ring of the Starless Skies. The Ring of the Starless Skies special effect reads, each consecutive core skill cast reduces the resource cost of your next core skill by 8%, up to a maximum of 40%. Now, when reading this description, I'm assuming that like if you're spamming core skills, you will stack up to that 40% resource cost reduction, and then you basically get to stay at that until maybe you use a skill that isn't a core skill, and then that would reset, and then as you spam more core skills, you're going to keep stacking up that resource cost. For characters that spam their resource or their core skill, such as like Twisting Blades rogues, Tornado druids, Pulverized druids, Hammer of the Ancients barbs, like this ring would just give you so much resource cost reduction, and it's rolled really well with lucky hit chance, crit strike damage, and core skill damage. So this would definitely be a fantastic ring to drop for honestly just about any class. Our next item is Andariel's Visage, and this reads that you have a chance up to 20% on lucky hit to trigger a poison nova that applies 10,000 poison damage over 5 seconds to enemies in the area. Now, this would be unbelievably cool for a poison druid build. I'm currently working on a poison shred build, and when you poison shred, you can stack that multiplier up to 180% like explosion of poison damage. It doesn't actually remove the dot. It triggers a massive nova, and you've got glyphs on the like druid to make poison damage deal double damage. And there's just so many crazy things that you could do with this. On the poison rogue, you could also do some really cool things with this and just stack up your lucky hit chance and just have these ridiculous poison novas happening all the time. The stats on this thing aren't too great with all stats attack speed. However, it does roll with lifesteal. I don't think I've ever seen a lifesteal stat on a item ever. So that's obviously incredibly rare. And any character that's attacking very quickly, such as a poison druid or a poison rogue, would be able to take massive advantage of that. That is Andariel's Visage. Our next ultra rare unique is the Melted Heart of Selig, and this reads gain plus 30% maximum resource. In addition, when you take damage, drain 6 or 8 to 3 resource for every 1% of life you would have lost instead. Now, the way that I read this is you get a big boost to your resource, and then when you take damage, instead of losing life, you're going to lose resource, and then if you don't have any resource, then you start to lose life. So it acts as a barrier, I think, basically, as your resource now becomes like a shield for you, which would be insane on characters that have really crazy regen, such as the druid with the keystone skill that basically if you get a lucky crit, you have unlimited resource for 5 seconds. You'd basically become invincible during that if you had this amulet on. The barbarian is fantastic class at generating a crap ton of fury, and you could always be generating that, especially if you're whirlwinding on enemies. You basically would never run out of fury and would have crazy survivability. I'm not sure if I'm reading that correctly, but that's how I'm interpreting that. Let me know what you guys think. But that would be so crazy, and obviously would help pushing into those higher nightmare dungeon tiers. The stats on it are fine. All stats, core skill damage, damage while healthy, and resource generation. Next up, we've got the Harlequin crest, aka the Shako helmet. You already know what it is. This helmet reads that you gain up to 20% damage reduction, and in addition, you get +4 ranks to all of your skills. Now, I'm not sure if you actually ranked this helmet up, if that +4 ranks would go to like +5 or +6, but +4 ranks to all of your skills is so insane. That is so much extra damage for your ice shards, for your shred, for your pulverize, for your hammer of the ancients. That is just a massive damage spike, not only for your damaging skills, but cooldowns and defenses for all your other skills. I can't imagine the amount of power spike that you would get on picking this thing up, and I would love to experiment with it myself. It is got to be one of the rarest items in the entire game, as I think there's only 2 players in the world who have confirmed to have gotten this, and it rolls with max life, cooldown, resource generation, and all stats. Pretty good affixes on it as well. Next up, we've got the Doombringer unique sword. Now, this is a one-handed sword that reads, on lucky hits, you have a 25% chance to deal 5,800 shadow damage to surrounding enemies and reduce their damage done by 20% for 5 seconds. This is a lucky hit weapon to deal a bunch of shadow damage and give you survivability. On top of that survivability, on its rolls, you've got a lucky hit chance to heal 881 health up to 941. You've got a massive increase to your maximum health that can roll up to a 26% increase of maximum health. This is a utility survivability weapon on a barbarian where you can have 4 active swords and you can still keep your 2-handed swords for all of your damage bonuses. This to heal you, to increase your life, to give you that 20% damage reduction would just be so incredible. Plus, it's got core skill damage and percentage damage, and it's a sword, so it's got crit damage. This thing would be an absolute monster on any character, but I would love to try it on Barbarian. And anything that does shadow damage as well could be kind of neat with it. I'm not sure how well like a Necromancer would work, because Necromancer aspects and uniques are really important. But that is the Doombringer sword. Next up, we've got the Grandfather sword. This is a 2-handed sword, and it reads, increases your critical strike damage by up to 100%. I cannot imagine how much damage you'd be able to put out with this thing, as well as on its weapon stat rolls. You can roll up to a 56% increase to your damage. You've got maximum health roll and an all stats roll. The obvious big kicker being that up to 56% damage increase. It's got crit damage roll because it's a sword, and obviously increasing your crit damage by up to 100% would just be so crazy. I would love to try this on a whirlwind barbarian build where you can have this and another aspect, and the other aspect could be that the whirlwind gives you increased crit chance as you're spinning so that you're popping crits. This thing would be so much fun to use on, like, really, there's so many ways that you could use this, but I think like a whirlwind barbarian where you have that aspect to give you increased crit chance, you could start hitting for absurd damage with whirlwind, just one-shotting packs as you spin through them. And yeah, guys, those are the rarest uniques in the game. Let me down below if any of you have been lucky enough to find any of these or know someone who's gotten any of these. I probably won't believe you anyways, just because these are so unbelievably rare, but absolute game changers, and hopefully we see more and more of these pop up. I would really be interested to see what some builds can do with these weapons and just how far we can push the game. Guys, that is going to do it for the video. I hope the audio video quality was fine. I actually had to reinstall Windows and delete all of my hard drives and solid state drives. So I had to redo everything on my computer. Kind of a hassle, but hopefully the video looks all right. Guys, that is going to do it for the video. I will catch y'all in the next one. Take care, guys. Peace.